Hi everyone. So there I was, completely buried. I had books all the way up to the top of my head. I had people who were demanding money. I had covers that were ordered. I was losing track of my entire system. It was complete and utter chaos. That was where I found myself. And that's the reason why I want to discuss how I organize my time as a self-publisher. This is Chris Baird from selfpublishingmadeeasynow.com, where self-publishing doesn't have to be so hard. So the thing is that I grew up using just a basic notebook. That was where I started. We start with paper. Now I know nowadays that sounds very old-fashioned, but I did. I had a notebook. I had a number of tasks that I would keep track of, and that worked very, very well. Later on, when things became a little more technical, I moved over to using an Excel spreadsheet. After all, you have a list of tasks, you just write everything in there that you need to remember, and you write it all down. And all the tasks began to become a little bit longer and a little bit longer of a list of things to do. And the thing is, I wanted to see my books sell. I wanted to have regular books coming onto the market at a regular interval, writing books, paying other people to write books, moving forward with these books, and getting them onto the market. That also involved optimizing the books as you go. And as one thing you'll always notice on this channel is that we're always looking at ways in which we can improve what we've previously done, since it is impossible to get it right the very first time when we're putting our books onto the market. So the thing is, as you're making these orders for, let's say, covers or book manuscripts, or dealing with following up formatting processes or editing that's going on, or asking readers for reviews and answering their questions and these sorts of things via your email list, the list can start to get out of control. That is to say, the list becomes bigger and bigger, and that was what was happening to me. I was seeing my list of tasks growing, and with it was coming a whole lot of negative things. The fact is my stress level started to jump. You could see it on my Apple Watch that the heart rate was going up. We were getting elevated heart rates. I was having difficulty sleeping. Just sitting in a chair was causing my back to start hurting. I wasn't having fun anymore. I remember at that time my wife even asking, "Are you sure you really want to be doing this whole self-publishing thing, because it's creating a lot of stress?" And what was at stake was me possibly losing my entire business as a result of all of the stress due to these tasks and trying to manage in the time that I had in order to get control over this. And so the first thing was I saw that people weren't getting paid. So when people you're hiring to do jobs are having to come to you and say, "Okay, look, I delivered the job. Can you pay me for the work that I have done?" And I'm like, "Oh no, I need to get around to paying this person, but then I need all of the royalties coming in from the books. I need to get this processed for the accountants so that they're able to do it, so the taxes are paid before the IRS would start coming after me, or the Norwegian tax authorities for not actually doing my taxes." And so the end result being a lot of the books were being left half finished, not completely done. Some of the reviews that I would be trying to get for books would not be in place. The covers would be coming in faster than I could manage to get that all pulled together. I was in complete and utter chaos. And as I was mentioned, I had difficulty sleeping, and my notebook was completely filled with items, just way too many items. I had no prioritization on anything, leading to a whole series with confusion and a consideration that maybe giving up was the correct option. But then, after listening to some podcasts, something hit me. I heard about this guy named David Allen. Now, I don't know if you've heard about him, but he's absolutely amazing. He wrote a book that was incredibly famous, even though it's a little outdated today in the digital world, and it's called Get Things Done, the GTD method. And the whole point of his system is very simple. The first thing is you're going to establish a goal, what it is we want to do. Now for me, the goal would be, let's get this book out onto the market. And then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to have the next task. So we don't care about all of the other tasks around that specific goal, but the next task, that's the one we're going to put our focus on. And so we deal with this issue, so we have just the next task, and then what we're going to do is we're going to schedule it. Now, for me, I use a tool called Todoist. You can find my affiliate link below in the description, and that was a tool that I found incredibly helpful, because what happens is we take all of the tasks we're going to need to do next for each of our projects, and we schedule them out in time. So each day when we look at the calendar, we would, or not the calendar, but look at our Todoist list, we would see the items that are due for that day, and they would be broken down by the project that they're with. So it's incredibly simple to keep track of where we are and what needs to be done next. So if I order a cover a week from now, I need to check up on how that cover is going. Now, I don't need to put the cover into the book yet because I don't have the cover. So the next task is following up on the cover. We never assume anything's going to go as planned. So we're always looking at Murphy's Law, and this gives us the ability to take our time, which we're breaking into little segments during the day. That's the first thing. So your calendar is where you decide where your time is going to go, okay? And then the tasks that are going to fit in there are based upon Todoist. And you have your prioritization, which makes it very easy, where you can have the red for priority 1, yellow and blue, priority 2 and 3 for different tasks so that they go to the top of the list for that day. And so by using your calendar to block off the hours that are going to be dedicated to your self-publishing and using Todoist on the other side of it in order to keep control over all of this so that you see which your next tasks are and not looking at future tasks, we begin to have a system that I discovered was working amazingly for me. And so the thing is, I continue to have piles of tasks mounting up, and this exploded when I started moving into YouTube video creation as well. And the thing is that I discovered I was halfway following the rules, and that was the next big obstacle. Some of my tasks, or as he calls them, open loops, things for which you haven't captured in your capturing system, which would be Todoist. The thing is that I started to discover that it was still a challenge for me. So what I did was I have to start the day and make sure every task I have is fully registered in the system. So I pulled it all together. I pulled my tracking system, I have my tags, the dates, the different buckets of projects that I would be working on, and focusing on the absolute most important next task. And what eventually happened here was that my stress level started to fall down immediately. Suddenly, I found that I was getting better sleep. I could follow my sleeping patterns at night, and it was drastically improving. And I no longer was feeling like I'm always forgetting something. Does that make sense? And the joy of self-publishing started to come back, almost bubbling as I started to feel the sensation of this whole self-publishing experience, that we were getting it under control again. So the thing is, are you feeling stressed? Well, I would suggest check out my affiliate link for Todoist below in the description. And also, if you need help mapping all of this out, because I know how frustrating it is trying to find time and trying to figure out how to use that time most effectively and not getting bogged down in all of these tasks, feel free. In the description, you will find a free bookings. You can book a session for a one-on-one session with me to discuss exactly your issues in your self-publishing journey and how best to manage your time in a free one-on-one discovery session. So just go ahead and check out below in the comments. Thanks.